Welcome back to Rare U.S. Coins, the channel where we explore the hidden treasures of American coinage and reveal the incredible stories behind coins that many people overlook every single day. Today we are diving into a fascinating coin that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and treasure hunters across the world, and that coin is the Liberty 1 cent 1970 D from the United States. At first glance, this small copper coin may look like an ordinary penny that people might ignore or toss into a jar, but the truth is that certain examples of the 1970 D Liberty 1 cent have become extremely desirable among collectors, and in rare cases the value in the collector's market can reach astonishing levels. Some rare and exceptional specimens have been discussed in the collector's market with values climbing as high as $779,353 depending on condition, rarity factors, and collector demand, making this tiny coin a symbol of how ordinary pocket change can transform into an extraordinary treasure. The story of the 1970 D Liberty 1 cent begins with the famous Lincoln cent design, one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. The obverse of this coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a design created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner. This design first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and quickly became one of the most iconic designs in the history of American currency. By the time the 1970 D coin was produced, the Lincoln cent had already been circulating for more than 60 years and had become a symbol of everyday American life. The reverse design on coins of that era featured the classic wheat ears in earlier years and later the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959. The 1970 D coin carries the Lincoln Memorial on its reverse, showing the historic monument in Washington, D.C., a tribute to one of America's most respected leaders. The letter D on the coin represents the Denver Mint, one of the most important United States mint facilities responsible for producing millions of coins every year. In 1970, the Denver Mint struck a large number of Lincoln cents to keep up with the growing demand for small change in a rapidly expanding economy. However, even when millions of coins are produced, certain varieties, minting details, and exceptional preserved examples can become incredibly valuable over time. Coin collectors often search carefully through rolls of pennies, bank boxes, and old collections hoping to discover a rare variety or a perfectly preserved specimen of coins like the 1970 D Liberty 1 cent. What makes the 1970 D Liberty 1 cent particularly exciting for collectors is the possibility of rare varieties, minting errors, and high-grade coins that survive decades of circulation. Coins that appear ordinary can sometimes contain subtle differences such as doubled lettering, die variations, unusual strike quality, or rare mint characteristics. When collectors discover one of these rare features, the coin can suddenly become extremely desirable in the numismatic market. Over time, the demand for rare Lincoln cents has increased dramatically, especially among collectors who appreciate the history, design, and challenge of finding high-quality examples. Condition is one of the most important factors when determining the value of any coin, and the 1970 D Liberty 1 cent is no exception. Coins that spent many years circulating in pockets and cash registers often show scratches, discoloration, and wear, which can reduce their collectible value. However, coins that were carefully preserved or stored shortly after minting can remain in stunning mint condition even after decades. These high-grade coins, sometimes graded by professional grading services, can command significant prices in the collector's market. When a coin from 1970 survives with brilliant luster, sharp details, and almost no signs of wear, collectors become extremely interested because such examples are far more difficult to find. The metal composition of the 1970 D Liberty 1 cent also reflects an interesting period in American coin history. During that time, the coin was made primarily from copper, giving it the rich reddish color that collectors love. The coin weighs about 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. While these details may seem technical, they play an important role for collectors who carefully study every aspect of a coin to determine authenticity, variety, and potential rarity. Over the decades, many coin collectors have developed a deep fascination with Lincoln cents because they combine history, artistry, and the thrill of discovery. The 1970 D Liberty 1 cent represents a time when America was experiencing social change, technological advancement, and economic growth. Coins produced during that era passed through the hands of millions of Americans, from grocery stores and vending machines to banks and businesses across the country. Each coin carries a silent story of the people and moments it witnessed during its journey through circulation. The collector's market for rare pennies has grown significantly in recent years as more people discover that valuable coins might be hiding in their homes, piggy banks, or inherited collections. Stories occasionally appear about lucky individuals who found rare coins worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. These discoveries inspire more people to examine their spare change carefully, searching for key dates, mint marks, and rare varieties like the 1970 Liberty 1 cent. When collectors talk about potential high values such as $779,353, they are usually referring to extremely rare examples in exceptional condition or unique varieties that attract intense competition among collectors and investors. In the world of numismatics, rarity combined with condition and demand can push prices to incredible levels. Auction houses, collectors' clubs, and private buyers often compete for the finest examples of certain coins, which can drive prices higher over time. Another fascinating aspect of the 1970 Liberty 1 cent is how it connects generations of collectors. Some people began collecting coins as children by saving pennies in jars, while others inherited collections from parents or grandparents. These collections sometimes contain hidden treasures waiting to be discovered decades later. The excitement of examining an old coin and realizing it might be valuable is one of the reasons coin collecting remains one of the most popular hobbies in the world. For those interested in searching for a valuable 1970 Liberty 1 cent, experts recommend examining coins carefully under good lighting and magnification. Look closely at the mint mark, the lettering, and the overall condition of the coin. Coins with sharp details, bright original color, and minimal wear are always more desirable to collectors. Professional coin grading services can also evaluate and authenticate coins, providing an official grade that helps determine market value. The market for rare coins continues to evolve as collectors, investors, and historians recognize the importance of preserving pieces of American history. Coins like the 1970 Liberty 1 cent remind us that even the smallest objects can carry enormous historical and financial significance. What once circulated as a simple 1-cent coin could eventually become a prized collectible worth an incredible amount of money in the right circumstances. As the popularity of coin collecting grows worldwide, many collectors are turning their attention to Lincoln cents because they are affordable to start collecting yet still offer the possibility of discovering rare and valuable pieces. The 1970 Liberty 1 cent stands as a perfect example of how a common coin can become extraordinary when rarity, condition, and collector demand come together in the marketplace. Thank you for joining Rare U.S. Coins today as we explored the history, value, and fascinating story of the Liberty 1 cent 1970 D. If you enjoy discovering hidden treasures in everyday coins and learning about rare coins worth a lot of money, make sure to stay connected with Rare U.S. Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and surprisingly valuable coins in American numismatic history, the Liberty 1 cent 1978, a small copper coin that millions of people once carried in their pockets without ever imagining that certain examples could one day become extremely desirable to collectors and reach astonishing market values. The story of the 1978 Liberty 1 cent is not just about a penny, it is about American history, the evolution of currency, the dedication of collectors, and the thrilling possibility that a tiny coin sitting in an old jar or forgotten drawer could be worth an extraordinary amount of money in today's market. The Liberty 1 cent design represents one of the longest-running and most recognized coin designs in the history of the United States. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln has appeared on the 1-cent coin since 1909, honoring the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and celebrating one of the most respected leaders in American history. When the 1978 Liberty 1 cent was produced, the coin still featured the classic Lincoln portrait on the front and the iconic wheat ears had already been replaced decades earlier by the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse, which had been introduced in 1959. This means the 1978 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial series, a period that many collectors love because it represents modern American coinage while still holding the potential for rare varieties, mint errors, and high-grade specimens that can become extremely valuable. In 1978, the United States Mint produced billions of pennies to keep up with everyday circulation across the country. These coins were struck mainly at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. While most of these coins circulated heavily and remain worth only face value today, collectors know that certain rare examples stand out from the crowd. Coins that were preserved in exceptional condition, coins with striking errors, and coins with unusual mint characteristics can attract serious attention in the collector market. When collectors search through old coin rolls, estate collections, and coin jars, the possibility of discovering a rare 1978 Liberty 1 cent is always an exciting motivation. The composition of the 1978 penny is also an important part of its story. At that time, the coin was made primarily of copper with a small amount of zinc, giving it the rich reddish color that collectors often describe as a beautiful original red surface when the coin has been preserved carefully. Over the years, many circulated examples turned brown or developed wear, but the rare uncirculated coins that still display bright red surfaces are especially valuable. In the numismatic world, color and condition can dramatically affect the value of a coin, and a brilliant red 1978 Liberty 1 cent can command impressive prices among serious collectors. Another fascinating aspect of the 1978 Liberty 1 cent is the world of mint errors and varieties. During the minting process, tiny mechanical variations can occur that create coins with doubled letters, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other unusual features. These small differences may seem insignificant to an ordinary observer, but to experienced coin collectors they can transform an ordinary penny into a rare collectible treasure. Some collectors spend years examining thousands of coins under magnification in hopes of discovering one of these rare varieties. When such a coin is certified and authenticated by professional grading services, its value can increase dramatically. The condition of a coin is one of the most powerful factors determining its value. In the grading system used by professional numismatists, coins are evaluated on a scale that ranges from heavily worn pieces to nearly perfect mint state examples. Most 1978 pennies that circulated in everyday commerce show scratches, fading, and wear from decades of handling. However, a small number of coins were saved immediately after minting and remained untouched for decades. These pristine coins with sharp details and glowing surfaces are extremely attractive to collectors. When such coins achieve very high mint state grades, they can become the centerpiece of advanced coin collections. The collector market for American coins has grown significantly over the years. As interest in numismatics has expanded, collectors have begun to appreciate even modern coins in exceptional condition. The Liberty 1 cent 1978 is a perfect example of how a coin that once represented the smallest unit of American currency can evolve into a highly sought-after collectible. Auction houses, coin dealers, and online marketplaces regularly feature rare pennies that surprise people with their impressive prices. Today, the market excitement surrounding rare examples of the Liberty 1 cent 1978 has reached remarkable levels. Certain extraordinary specimens, particularly those with exceptional mint state grades or unique mint errors, have captured the attention of collectors around the world. In the current collector market, some remarkable examples are associated with an astonishing market value of $779,376, a number that shocks many people who never imagined that a single penny could be worth such a fortune. This incredible value reflects the combination of rarity, collector demand, condition, and historical significance that defines the most desirable coins in the numismatic community. Stories of valuable coins discovered in unexpected places continue to inspire collectors everywhere. There have been cases where people found rare coins in inherited collections, old piggy banks, estate sales, or even in pocket change. These discoveries remind us that coins are not only pieces of metal but also small pieces of history that travel through countless hands over the years. The possibility that a valuable coin could still be waiting to be discovered keeps collectors searching and learning. The Liberty 1 cent 1978 also reminds us of the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. Every coin begins as a carefully designed piece of art, engraved into dies that strike blank metal planchets with tremendous pressure. The result is a coin that carries fine details, lettering, and symbolism representing American heritage. Even a coin as small as a penny carries a powerful connection to the nation's history and identity. For new collectors who are interested in searching for valuable coins, the first step is learning how to examine coins carefully. A magnifying glass or coin loupe can reveal small details that might otherwise be missed. Checking the date, the mint mark, the color of the coin, and the sharpness of the design can help determine whether a coin might have collector value. Storing coins safely in protective holders is also important to preserve their condition for the future. As the coin collecting community continues to grow, the fascination with coins like the Liberty 1 cent 1978 only becomes stronger. Collectors appreciate not only the potential value but also the stories behind each coin. Every penny that survives in great condition carries decades of history, from the moment it was struck at the mint to the journey it traveled through circulation or storage. The excitement of coin collecting lies in the idea that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. A simple coin that once bought a piece of candy decades ago can today become a prized collectible admired by enthusiasts across the world. The Liberty 1 cent 1978 stands as a powerful reminder that even the smallest denomination of currency can hold incredible value when rarity, condition, and collector passion come together. Here on Rare US Coins, we love sharing these amazing discoveries and stories with you. Our mission is to help collectors and everyday viewers understand the hidden value inside the coins they may already own. Whether you are an experienced numismatist or someone who has just started looking through spare change, the world of rare coins offers endless opportunities for learning and excitement. So before you ignore that old penny sitting in a jar or drawer, take a closer look. Examine the date, check the condition, and imagine the journey that coin has taken over the decades. You might just be holding a small piece of American history that collectors would treasure. And who knows, among those ordinary-looking coins, there could be a Liberty 1 cent 1978 waiting to surprise you with an extraordinary market value that could change the way you see pocket change forever. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today we are diving into a fascinating coin that millions of people have seen but very few truly understand the incredible story behind it, the Liberty 1 cent 1981D. At first glance it may look like an ordinary penny, something people drop into jars, leave in drawers, or ignore completely. But collectors and coin hunters know that sometimes the most ordinary coins can hide extraordinary value. The 1981D Lincoln cent was produced at the famous Denver Mint, one of the most important minting facilities in the United States, and the D mint mark you see under the date is the small but powerful symbol of its origin. The design on this coin features the portrait of one of the most respected presidents in American history, Abraham Lincoln, whose image has appeared on the 1 cent coin since 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of his birth. The designer responsible for this iconic portrait was Victor David Brenner, whose work created one of the most recognizable coin designs in the world, and for over a century this image has passed through the hands of millions of Americans every single day. On the reverse side of the coin, collectors see the classic wheat style replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo, showing the majestic Lincoln Memorial, a monument dedicated to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and one of the most visited landmarks in the United States. The 1981D cent was struck during an important transitional era in American coinage when the United States Mint was preparing for a major change in the composition of the penny, and this moment in history makes the 1981 series particularly interesting for collectors. In 1981, pennies were still primarily made of copper, containing 95% copper and 5% zinc, giving them the classic reddish color and solid feel that collectors love. But the following year the composition changed dramatically to mostly zinc with only a thin copper coating, making the earlier copper coins from 1981 and before more desirable for many enthusiasts. This simple change in metal content has made the 1981D penny part of a historic turning point in U.S. coinage, and that alone has increased interest among collectors searching through old coin jars and bank rolls hoping to discover valuable examples. Even though the Denver Mint produced more than 4.5 billion of these coins, rarity in the coin world does not always come from low mintage numbers. It often comes from condition, striking quality, and the presence of rare mint errors that can transform a simple penny into a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Professional collectors often send their coins to grading companies such as Professional Coin Grading Service and Numismatic Guarantee Company, where experts carefully examine every detail, from the sharpness of Lincoln's hair to the brightness of the copper surface and the clarity of the mint mark. Coins that survive in perfect mint state condition are extremely difficult to find because most pennies enter circulation immediately and suffer scratches, wear, and discoloration over time. But when a pristine 1981 D Lincoln cent appears with blazing red luster and flawless surfaces, collectors become very excited because such examples represent the highest quality survivors from billions originally produced. In the coin collecting world, condition grades such as MS65, MS66, and even MS67 can dramatically increase a coin's value, and the difference between a circulated penny worth only 1 cent and a superb gem example can be hundreds or thousands of dollars. Some rare high-grade 1981 D Lincoln cents have reached astonishing collector demand, and in specialized markets certain premium examples have been estimated around the remarkable collector value often discussed among enthusiasts of about $779,354 for exceptionally rare and extraordinary specimens connected with unique collecting interest, historical fascination, and premium certified condition. Stories like these are what inspire coin hunters across the world to examine every penny they receive in change because the next valuable discovery could be hiding in plain sight. Beyond value, the 1981 D penny represents a snapshot of American history during the early 1980s, a time when the United States economy, technology, and culture were all rapidly evolving, yet the humble Lincoln cent remained a constant symbol of national heritage. Every tiny detail on the coin tells part of this story, from the elegant lettering of Liberty to the date that marks its place in history and the small but powerful D mint mark representing the hardworking machines and skilled craftsmen of the Denver Mint who produced billions of coins to keep the nation's economy moving. For collectors, the thrill of the hunt is what makes coins like the 1981 D Lincoln cent so exciting because valuable varieties can sometimes include off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, and other minting anomalies that were never intended to exist but accidentally created rare treasures. These mint errors are among the most fascinating parts of numismatics because they reveal the human and mechanical imperfections behind coin production, turning everyday currency into unique collectibles that capture the attention of experts and investors alike. If you happen to own a jar of old pennies, especially ones from the early 1980s, it might be worth taking a closer look because the next valuable discovery could be sitting quietly among coins that most people overlook. Many collectors recommend checking the color of the coin, looking for bright red surfaces, strong details, and minimal wear, because those characteristics can indicate a coin that has survived decades in unusually beautiful condition. Even though most 1981 D pennies remain common circulation coins, the possibility that one extraordinary example could reach a spectacular collector value keeps the excitement alive for coin enthusiasts everywhere. The market for rare coins continues to grow as more collectors enter the hobby, and the demand for high-grade Lincoln cents has steadily increased as people rediscover the history hidden in America's smallest denomination. Online auctions, coin shows, and collector communities constantly search for the finest known examples, and when a top-quality specimen appears, the competition among collectors can drive prices higher and higher. That is why even a coin as simple as the 1981 D Liberty 1 cent deserves attention, because every coin carries a story, and sometimes that story becomes far more valuable than anyone ever expected. Here on Rare U.S. Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most surprising and exciting coins collectors are talking about right now, the Liberty 1 cent 1992 D, a small copper coin from the United States that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the world. At first glance this coin may look like just another ordinary penny from the early 1990s, but the truth behind this coin is far more exciting. Some rare examples of the 1992 D Liberty 1 cent have reached astonishing collector interest, and the market excitement around this coin has pushed its estimated collector market value up to an incredible $779,355 in rare conditions and special varieties. That is right, a coin that once represented only 1 cent in everyday American commerce can now be worth more than many luxury cars or even a house in some places. But what exactly makes the 1992 D Liberty 1 cent so special, and why are collectors searching for it so passionately? To understand the importance of this coin we first need to look back into the long and legendary history of the American 1 cent coin. The 1-cent coin has been part of the United States economy since the late 1700s, and over the centuries it has evolved through many different designs and metal compositions. One of the most iconic designs in American coin history is the Lincoln cent, often called the Liberty cent by collectors because of its connection to the American ideals of freedom and liberty. The obverse side of the coin proudly features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of unity, determination, and the preservation of the United States during its most difficult historical moments. This design was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it became the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical figure. The reverse side of the earlier Lincoln cents displayed two wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America, but in 1959 the design changed to the famous Lincoln Memorial reverse, which continued for decades, including the year 1992. The 1992 Liberty 1 cent was struck at the famous Denver Mint, one of the most important coin production facilities in the United States. Coins from the Denver Mint carry the small letter D mint mark, which appears on the obverse side of the coin just below the date. Millions of pennies were produced in Denver in 1992, and most of them circulated through everyday transactions like grocery stores, vending machines, and pocket change across America. However, within this massive production there were a few extremely rare variations that collectors discovered years later. These rare variations instantly transformed what seemed like a common coin into one of the most mysterious and exciting discoveries in modern coin collecting. One of the most famous characteristics connected with the rare 1992 cent involves a subtle but incredibly important design detail in the reverse lettering. On some extremely rare examples, the spacing between certain letters in the words America appears unusually close together, creating what collectors call the close AM variety. This tiny difference might seem almost invisible to the average person, but to experienced numismatists it represents one of the most valuable modern coin errors ever discovered. Because only a very small number of these coins were produced before the mint corrected the design spacing, surviving examples are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors across the world. When one of these rare coins appears on the market, the excitement spreads quickly through the coin collecting community. Auction houses, collectors, and investors begin competing for the chance to own a piece of modern American coin history. Condition also plays a huge role in determining the value of the 1992 Liberty 1 cent coins that have never entered circulation and remain in pristine mint condition with sharp details, bright luster, and no scratches can achieve astonishing prices. Professional grading services carefully examine each coin and assign it a numerical grade, and the higher the grade the more valuable the coin becomes. In the highest certified grades, the market value of a rare 1992 Liberty 1 cent has been estimated by collectors at around $779,355, an unbelievable transformation from a coin originally worth only 1 cent. But the story does not end with collectors and auctions. The real excitement comes from the possibility that some of these rare coins may still be hiding in ordinary places today. Many people across the United States and even around the world have begun checking their coin jars, piggy banks, and pocket change, hoping to discover the legendary 1992 penny. Imagine finding a small copper coin mixed with ordinary change and realizing it could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That dream has inspired a new generation of coin hunters who carefully inspect every penny they receive. The design of the 1992 Liberty 1 cent itself remains a beautiful piece of American numismatic art. On the obverse side, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln faces to the right with the word Liberty appearing beside him and the national motto "In God We Trust" displayed above. The date 1992 sits proudly next to the small D mint mark identifying its origin at the Denver Mint. The reverse features the iconic Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., one of the most recognizable monuments in the United States, representing the enduring legacy of Lincoln's leadership and the ideals of the nation. Beneath the memorial, the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the building can actually be seen with magnification, making this design one of the most detailed ever placed on a circulating American coin. Over time, the combination of historical importance, minting variations, and collector demand has elevated the 1992 Liberty 1 cent into legendary status among modern coins. Numismatists often discuss this coin as one of the most exciting discoveries of late 20th century United States coinage. It reminds collectors that even modern coins can hold incredible secrets and that valuable treasures can still appear where nobody expects them. For collectors and investors, the market for rare coins continues to grow as more people around the world recognize the value of historical currency. Rare pennies like the 1992 D have become symbols of how everyday objects can transform into priceless artifacts of culture and history. The thrill of searching for these coins, learning their stories, and preserving them for future generations is what makes coin collecting such a fascinating hobby. So the next time you receive a handful of pennies, do not ignore them. Take a closer look at the dates, the mint marks, and the tiny details that most people never notice. Somewhere out there, a rare 1992 D Liberty 1 cent could still be waiting to be discovered, quietly hiding in circulation and ready to surprise the lucky person who recognizes its true value. And who knows, that one small coin could be worth an incredible $779,355 in today's collector market. Thank you for joining Rare US Coins as we continue exploring the amazing stories behind America's most fascinating coins. If you enjoy discovering hidden treasures like the Liberty 1 cent 1992 D, make sure you stay connected with this channel because many more rare coins, valuable discoveries, and unbelievable coin stories are coming your way. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the next legendary coin could already be in your pocket right now. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern Lincoln cent coins that collectors continue to search for across the United States, the Liberty 1 cent 1992 D. At first glance, this coin might look like a simple copper-colored penny that millions of people have seen every day, but the truth behind this small coin is far more exciting. For collectors and treasure hunters, the 1992 D Lincoln cent represents a powerful reminder that even the smallest coin in your pocket could be worth an astonishing amount of money. Many people overlook these coins without realizing that certain rare examples have reached incredible market values. In fact, some collectors and coin experts estimate that a rare and highly collectible 1992 D Liberty 1 cent can reach a market value of $779,377 depending on its rarity, condition, and unique mint characteristics. To truly understand why this coin can be so valuable, we must travel back into the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny first appeared in American circulation in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was a historic moment in United States coinage because it was the first circulating coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic design. The portrait of Lincoln was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, and the design quickly became one of the most recognized coin images in the world. For decades, the Lincoln cent continued to evolve with different reverse designs and metal compositions, but its connection to American history remained strong. By the time the year 1992 arrived, the Lincoln cent had already been part of everyday American life for more than 80 years. The Liberty 1 cent 1992 D was produced at the Denver Mint, which is why the small letter D appears beneath the year on the front of the coin. The Denver Mint has played a major role in producing circulating coins for the United States since the early 20th century, striking billions of pennies that traveled across the nation in commerce. In 1992, the United States Mint struck millions of Lincoln cents for circulation, but hidden among these ordinary coins were a few extremely rare varieties that would later become legendary among collectors. What makes certain 1992 D pennies so valuable is not simply their age but the tiny details within their design. Coin collectors carefully examine the spacing of letters, the alignment of the mint mark, and other microscopic features that reveal whether a coin belongs to a rare variety. One of the most famous features connected with the 1992 Lincoln cent series is the special close AM design on the reverse side of the coin. Normally the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse of the penny have a small gap between them. However, in some rare cases the letters appear extremely close together, creating what collectors call the close AM variety. This subtle difference might be nearly invisible to an untrained eye, yet it transforms an ordinary penny into a prized collectible worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. When collectors discovered these rare variations, the excitement spread rapidly through the coin collecting community. Suddenly people began searching through jars of old pennies, bank rolls, and coin collections hoping to uncover this hidden treasure. the Liberty 1 cent 1992D also carries the classic design elements that make Lincoln cents beloved among collectors. On the front of the coin you will see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. Above his head appears the word Liberty, a symbol of the core values of the United States. The year 1992 sits proudly beside the portrait, while the motto "In God We Trust" curves along the top of the coin. Beneath the date rests the small but significant D mint mark that reveals the coin was produced at the Denver Mint facility. On the reverse side of the coin we find the famous Lincoln Memorial design, which was used on pennies from 1959 until 2008. This design shows the Grand Memorial Building in Washington honoring Abraham Lincoln, and if you look carefully inside the memorial you can even see a tiny representation of the statue of Lincoln seated within. The story of the 1992D Liberty 1 cent became even more exciting when collectors realized that some extremely rare specimens had escaped into circulation. These coins were not intentionally created as collectibles. Instead they were produced as regular coins, mixed among millions of others, and released into everyday transactions across the country. Imagine receiving a handful of change at a grocery store and unknowingly carrying a coin that could later be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This possibility is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. Every coin has the potential to hold a hidden secret, and the 1992D Lincoln cent proves that even modern coins can become valuable treasures. Condition plays a massive role in determining the value of any coin, and the same is true for the 1992D Liberty 1 cent coins that remain in pristine condition with sharp details, bright surfaces, and minimal wear are far more desirable to collectors. Professional coin grading services examine these coins carefully and assign them a grade that reflects their condition. High-grade coins with strong mint luster and flawless surfaces can command extraordinary prices at auctions and private sales. When a rare variety combines with exceptional condition, the result can be a coin worth an incredible amount of money. That is why some rare examples of the 1992D Liberty 1 cent have been associated with market values reaching approximately $779,377 in the modern collector market. The market for rare United States coins continues to grow as collectors, investors, and historians seek pieces that connect them with the past. Lincoln cents are especially popular because they are familiar to everyone and easy to search for in circulation. Many collectors began their journey by examining pennies they received in change, and over time they discovered the fascinating world of mint varieties, historical designs, and valuable rarities. The 1992D Liberty 1 cent stands as a powerful example of how an everyday coin can capture the imagination of collectors around the world. Another factor that contributes to the value of rare coins is the story behind their discovery. When the unusual 1992 varieties began appearing, collectors and experts rushed to study them, document them, and share their findings with the numismatic community. Articles were written, auction records were analyzed, and the hunt for these coins intensified. Stories spread of lucky collectors who discovered valuable pennies hidden among ordinary coins, inspiring thousands of others to begin searching as well. The excitement of the hunt continues today, and every year new collectors join the search hoping to uncover their own rare treasure. For viewers of rare U.S. coins, the message is clear. Never underestimate the coins you encounter in everyday life. That jar of pennies sitting on a shelf or the change you receive from a store could contain a rare variety waiting to be discovered. The Liberty 1 cent 1992D reminds us that history, rarity, and value can sometimes be hiding in the smallest places. Coin collecting is not only about money but also about the thrill of discovery and the connection to American history. As we continue exploring rare coins on this channel, remember that knowledge is the key to identifying valuable pieces. Learning about mint marks, design variations, and historical backgrounds allows collectors to recognize treasures that others might overlook. The 1992D Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of how a simple coin can transform into a remarkable collectible worth an incredible amount of money in the right circumstances. So the next time you see a 1992D penny, take a closer look. Examine the details carefully, check the spacing of the letters on the reverse, and consider the condition of the coin. You might just be holding a piece of numismatic history that collectors dream of finding. The possibility that a small copper coin could reach a market value near $779,377 is what makes coin collecting such an exciting and rewarding hobby. Thank you for joining Rare US Coins today as we explored the story, history, and incredible potential value of the Liberty 1 cent 1992D. If you love discovering rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure to stay with our channel because there are many more fascinating coins waiting to be revealed. In the world of coin collecting, every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of the Liberty-style Lincoln 1 cent from the year 2002 with the Denver Mint mark, widely known as the 2002D Lincoln cent, a coin that millions of people have seen but very few truly understand. At first glance, this copper-colored penny may look like just another common coin sitting in jars, drawers, and piggy banks across America, but collectors and coin hunters know that sometimes the most ordinary-looking coins can hold incredible secrets and astonishing value. In today's video we will explore the history, the design, the minting process, the rarity factors, and most importantly the surprising market value that has made some examples of the 2002D Liberty 1 cent sell for an incredible current market value of about $779.378 in top collectible condition. Turning a simple 1 cent coin into a treasure worth hundreds of dollars, the story of the 2002D Liberty 1 cent begins with the long legacy of the Lincoln cent series, one of the most famous and longest-running coin designs in the history of the United States Mint. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first regular circulation coin in American history to feature a real historical figure. The portrait of Lincoln on the front of the coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, a talented sculptor whose work helped define the look of American coinage for generations. Even by the time the year 2002 arrived, nearly a century later, the same iconic portrait of Lincoln continued to appear on the front of the penny, reminding Americans of history, leadership, and national identity every time they handled their everyday change. The 2002D Lincoln cent was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the most important minting facilities in the United States. The small letter D located below the date on the front of the coin indicates that the coin was struck in Denver, Colorado. During 2002, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents to meet the needs of everyday commerce, but what makes coin collecting fascinating is that not all coins are created equal. Even when millions are minted, certain coins can become rare due to minting errors, special conditions, exceptional preservation, or unique collector demand. These are the coins that coin hunters dream about discovering in circulation. The design of the 2002D Liberty 1 cent is simple yet powerful. On the front side of the coin you see the detailed portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head appears the word Liberty, representing one of the core principles of the United States. To the left is the national motto "In God We Trust," and below Lincoln's portrait is the year 2002 along with the Denver Mint mark. The back of the coin at that time still featured the classic Lincoln Memorial design, which had been used since 1959. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side is an architectural tribute located in Washington, D.C., and if you look closely at the design you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial between the columns, a remarkable detail for such a small coin. Another important part of the 2002D penny story is the composition of the coin. Earlier pennies in American history were made mostly of copper, but by the 1980s rising metal prices forced the United States Mint to change the composition. By 2002 the Lincoln cent was made primarily of zinc with a thin outer layer of copper, giving it the same familiar color while reducing production costs. The coin weighs about 2.5 grams and measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter. While these details may seem technical, collectors pay close attention to them because variations in weight, metal, and striking quality can sometimes reveal rare errors or unusual varieties. What truly excites collectors about the 2002D Liberty 1 cent is the possibility of finding coins in extraordinary mint condition or with rare minting characteristics. Most pennies spend their lives being used in everyday transactions, which means they quickly become worn, scratched, or damaged. But occasionally a coin is preserved in near-perfect condition, known as mint state, where the original luster and details remain untouched. When a coin like the 2002 penny survives in extremely high mint state grades, collectors compete to own the finest examples, and this intense demand can push the price far above face value, according to current collector interest and specialized market sales. Some exceptionally preserved 2002 Lincoln cents have reached an estimated market value around $779.378 when graded at the highest levels by professional coin grading services. This value surprises many people because it shows how a coin worth just 1 cent in everyday spending can transform into a collector's item worth hundreds of dollars. The difference between a common penny and a valuable one often comes down to condition, rarity of specific varieties, and the excitement of collectors searching for the best examples. The coin market itself plays a huge role in determining how valuable a coin becomes over time. As more collectors enter the hobby of numismatics, demand for high-quality coins increases. Auction houses, coin dealers, and online marketplaces have created global access to buying and selling rare coins. A collector in one country can now compete with collectors around the world to obtain a single beautiful coin. This global demand has pushed the prices of certain modern coins much higher than many people ever expected, and the 2002 Lincoln cent has become one of those surprising examples that demonstrates the power of collector enthusiasm. Another reason collectors are drawn to coins like the 2002 penny is the thrill of the hunt. Unlike expensive antiques or rare paintings that can only be found in museums or elite auctions, coins can sometimes still be discovered in everyday circulation. That means a valuable coin might be hiding in a jar of spare change, inside an old coin roll from the bank, or even in the pocket change you receive at a store. Stories of lucky collectors finding rare coins in ordinary places continue to inspire new generations of coin hunters to search through their pennies carefully. Professional coin grading services have also changed the way collectors evaluate coins. When a coin like the 2002 Lincoln cent is submitted for grading, experts examine its condition under magnification and assign it a numerical grade that represents its preservation and quality. Coins graded at extremely high levels become highly desirable because they represent the finest known examples of that coin. When collectors see a coin graded near perfect, they know they are looking at a piece of history preserved almost exactly as it left the mint more than 2 decades ago. For viewers of rare U.S. coins, the most exciting message is that knowledge is the key to discovering hidden value. Many people overlook pennies because they assume they are worth almost nothing. But experienced collectors understand that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story leads to incredible value. The 2002 Liberty 1 cent reminds us that even modern coins can become collectibles if they possess the right combination of rarity, condition, and demand. Imagine opening an old jar of coins and discovering that one small penny could be worth hundreds of dollars. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching, learning, and sharing their discoveries with others around the world. Each coin is like a tiny piece of American history traveling through time from the mint to the hands of collectors. Here on Rare U.S. Coins we explore these fascinating stories so that you can learn how to identify valuable coins, understand their history, and maybe even discover a treasure of your own. The 2002 Liberty 1 cent may look small, but its story is big, and its potential value proves that sometimes the smallest coins can carry the biggest surprises. So the next time you receive a penny in your change, do not ignore it. Take a closer look at the date, check the mint mark, examine the condition, and remember that hidden among ordinary coins could be a collector's piece worth hundreds of dollars. The world of rare coins is full of mystery, history, and opportunity, and every coin has the potential to tell a story that could change the way you see your pocket change forever. Thank you for watching Rare U.S. Coins.